Israelis have managed to lead the Americans into this, on probably the understanding that this is going to be short, sharp, and can be rounded up very, very quickly. And I probably give Trump the benefit of the doubt that he did believe this, given his Secretary of War and his support to Israel and how they've been speaking enthusiastically about the power they possess and so on. But I think he's in for a number of surprises, and Trump has genuinely been surprised because of his lack of knowledge of how the world, by and large, work outside.
He did say, interestingly, yesterday that he was surprised by the Iranian response, especially
He's surprised by the Iranian response. He's surprised by the fact the government has been largely intact and the operations continued. He is surprised by the position the Gulf states have taken. He's surprised by the position NATO has taken, China has taken about, helping open the Hormuz Strait. He's got a lot of surprises, which means that he hasn't really planned properly. And this is extremely concerning, particularly for us in the region. I mean, for him, he can always pull out and he can create a victory of some sort at some stage and say, we've done what we had to do. The military operation is successful. But we in the Gulf here have to live with this, with the results.
Ross, your thought,
I mean, Folly, I think there's another piece of this, and that is that there is a very, very deep institutional structure in the United States that provides the kind of expertise that could predict and limit the amount of number of surprises of the reaction of Iran, the reaction of the Gulf Arab states, and the reaction of Israel. But what's happened is the regime has contracted, or the government, rather, has contracted around a few key individuals who do not have the kind of bench strength or do not have the kind of expertise. And the folks that are part of the institutional structure of the United States that would provide the kind of intelligence inputs and the kind of analytic sophistication that could make those key decisions and see those distinctions, those nuances, they're not in the room. So institutionally, the U.S. and now the region and potentially the globe are suffering from the degradation of institutional competence in the United States.
Yeah, we've just had the resignation of a top counterterrorism official who said that Iran didn't pose an immediate threat to the U.S. Let me ask you now, Sultan, you said we are in for more surprises in this conflict. What kind of surprises? Are we looking at further escalation? In what form of escalation, if that's the case?
Well, I tend to listen to Netanyahu very carefully. And unlike a lot of people, I actually believe what he promises to do. He has in the past talked about genocide, and he implemented it, step by step and to the perfect agenda of genocide. Today, he spoke about Israel becoming a global superpower. And I think that only can happen by now Israel admitting to having nuclear power. And possibly
which by the way, President Trump yesterday
he kind of suggested it,
right.
Which means that they're talking about it behind closed doors. He may, Trump, give them the green light to use tactical nuclear power, nuclear bombs, which is seen as more...
That's quite scary, isn't it?
Well, it's seen as more user-friendly, as instead of nuclear strategic bombs that's going to devastate cities and so on. And they may use it in the interest of eliminating any and last possible threat of Iran having a nuclear bomb, i.e. targeting whatever has remained under the ruins from June last year. If Israel does this, it's a declaration of it being a nuclear power, other words, a global superpower. It will change its posture in the region. It's a big message to the whole region, to Pakistan, to Turkey, and everyone else. And I fear that Netanyahu and those fanatics around Trump in terms of advisors may really convince him to go down that route, almost on the 80th anniversary of the establishment of the State of Israel. So instead of all that worries about the biblical promise and the end of Israel, we're going into a new phase of superpower.
Ross, what do you think of such a scenario? Is that something that's possible, we think?
Anything is possible when you have two leaders like Donald Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu waging a war on the basis of some fairly poorly stated and poorly